On my research that I've been researching online on YouTube, I researched the 369 pattern of Nikola Tesla, speaking of certain vibration harmonical scenes, such as patterns of certain monuments of built our platform are existing with Earth itself, concurrently running with Earth on a way of just being present. So in other words, we're using certain hills, certain mountains, certain peaks are destined locations for this megatrons of what it is, somatic pattern of what it is, birth present of just shape of rocks, of just being symmetrically put together for a way, a device of a universal key component coming from outside our orbit. Is that possible? Could we identify such making of such device being present nowadays? I don't see why not. I'm only clarifying and identifying why am I picking certain topics to be what it is Brian to display, to be talked about for certain reasons. So what I'm trying to share with us is, what if presently now, what it is now, we bumped into what it is, a device of a component of a hill of such type, a structure. What would that mean? Or what would be the move on study on that? What would be the development on that? Because for me to explain what's going on, it's an event happened of a way of illustrating what happened to me. I can't show confirmation of evidence. I can't bring it to your eyes what I saw. I can only explain details of what I'm affected and feeling affected by what happened, so we get the result of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying I'm injured or I'm dramatically messed up. I'm saying that there's an effect left of showing results from this effect, and it's called making sense. And when I speak about making sense, I'm talking about an understanding sense that plays off for every human. It's called a sense-making way of backbone support for every human. Every human is given life and the authority to have a free agency to think what it wants to think and do as it wishes. But most likely we created an offset sense of officer to discipline us and make sure we stay on the narrow way of making sense and following sense, because we want to stay in the way of obedience and not in the way of making trouble, you know? So by us identifying that this modern sense developed a sidekick of a follower to make sure we stay following rules and disciplining us, we created a currency amongst each other of a mediator of barterings and trades, something that makes bartering and trades more simple, because I don't want to deal with what he wants. I just want to buy it off of him. So we come to an understanding that we created currency of an in-between, so it meets our differences, you know? We know how to work for it. Out of the concentration camps, that was a big sin. A lot of people were killed and whatnot, but we develop a sense overall superior than just the concentration camps. We develop a warehouse of ship, of what it is, agencies, of what it is, modern sense to go work, hourly paid and taken care of properly, because now you got insurance through this job. We created a safety regulation of following rules, procedures in this warehouse. And in life, it's very important to have such growth and have such potential, because it shows improvement on product, and it keeps growing product for the necessities of what it is nations needing resources. You understand what I'm saying? So the warehousing ship taught us a lot of development skills, much more brought us to what it is, a modern revolution sense of way of being. You know, we're in the 2000s now, in the 20,000th century, whatever. And as we're entering this century, we're entering it broke, with no backbone support, of nothing that understands our differences. We're left coming in here at the will of having to get it for what you could get at the moment. You know, you get it as hard as you work for what you get. Well, now that we've seen that structure, it doesn't work out for all humans, because here we are meeting present at the borderline, having immigrants trying to come over here, you know? We're identifying that life has been met to what it is, stock value, and it doesn't exist for everybody because it's not crediting everybody. So here we are kind of halfway riding this ship, you know? So we introduce what it is, an understanding sense, something that gives every human a little bit of currency in their pocket of a greater cost than one could speak of, or even bring into life example itself, you know? What I'm saying is, could there be something to back us up for what we really are, people of just living life, you know? So we become what it is, a consumer, a product around the world of a universal currency, you know? You understand what I'm saying? This universal currency plays off to every human that's available that has life. You know, we give it out to everybody. It's a currency that says that now we have something equal to measure from. You know, life is no longer not equal. It's an equal, fair starting point at $3,000 and $1,000 of stamps. Can we unite the whole world with that understanding? It would be a universal understanding of making sense. You understand what I'm saying? So then we base that on what's present. You know, there's procedures, there's officials, there's imperial, and there's certain things that we got to get approval from. So we come to the understanding that they exist for this reason, to be a great example. So we enlarge their beings of what they truly are. We become noble, universal people to their kingdom, you know, by justifying this undercent that's coming up from underneath. You know, the more important thing is that we're representing and covering what it is, the necessity of what human struggle is. You know, a human struggles with the necessity. It becomes an opponent of an enemy once you go bankrupt, or once you have nothing, or something happened that you have nothing left. You're faced with the necessity that makes people do crime or stupid shit. You know, this necessity has been with us since the beginning of the birth, you know, and we fight it 10 times more stronger in space. You understand what I'm saying? So we come to an understanding that human life has been met up with the balance of what it is, gold or other values, instead of what life is valued compared to life. You know, it should be at the same capacity as live beings as money is, you know. So what I'm trying to say is there should be something introducing money for what it is, the continuance of human development, to stabilize human life itself for itself, you know. Something that pays off every development official business that's considered a development, or what it is officially for protection or security. Anything that has to do with those branches get top pay and always stay on top pay, because they develop our senses to go further in life. You understand what I'm saying? Universities open up and run at full capacity now, because now to go to space is not to go to space. Now we invent the product you want to put in space for our future development. You understand what I'm saying? So we need scientists, we need engineers, and we need everything to get back started. Like if it was Hollywood when it first started, you know how it was the golden age? Well, this time we're going global, and we're unleashing an understanding sense that comes with CalFresh, with healthcare and all that. I'm trying to make sense of it, of why it's needed in this world. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not asking for credit. I'm not trying to get famous, and I'm not trying to take nobody's way of being. I'm just trying to say that God gave us life to have an allowance to live life, to choose if you want to live it right or wrong. But he gave us an allowance. For that allowance, our independence speaks of America having an allowance. So that allowance comes with a continuous way of being day by day. We're not free because we have to work for that freedom. You understand what I'm saying? If we were given money to fight this freedom and keep it at freedom pace, then we'll be literally free. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what Odd Instinct, and that's what I talk about, you know? That's what I be streaming about. So I don't like feedback. If you have feedback, keep it to yourself. Share it amongst yourselves. But this is what I've been doing. This is what I'm doing. This is my spiritual awakening essence of where I'm continuing from. Odd Instinct.